Yeah, hi John. I'm Logan, a writer with Mid-Major Basketball. I'm doing a story on Navy's overall season.
How you doing? Thanks for being
I'm
here.
good. Yeah, of course, thank you. My first question to you was, in your first year with Navy, what identity have you guys composed for the team that helped you to finish so strong?
Great question. I think it all goes back to just putting the team and our teammates over ourselves. That's one of our main goals every day and all we do, whether that's on the court or off the court. And trying to consider others always and being intentional with that. Um, you know, the mission of the Naval Academy is to develop leaders of character and graduate them for service in the United States Navy or the Marine Corps, and that's our most important thing. And it by trying to focus on the mission and helping these guys learn, grow, and develop into who they're becoming, I think that's helped us with our success on the program. So, we're kind of aligned with what we're trying to do overall here at the Naval Academy.
Awesome, perfect, thank you. And staying on the offensive side, Austin Bonini and Aiden Kehoe finished the season respectively with 18 and 15 points per game. So can you speak a little to how much that scoring duo has meant, especially going now into the tournament?
Yeah, it's meant a lot to our program, and us being able to score the basketball a lot of different ways. I think Aiden being able to score inside and shoot the ball consistently the way he has been, leading the country in field goal percentage, and his growth just over the last 2 years, being a steady guy in there for us has really opened things up for Austin at times, and so they play off of each other. Austin can penetrate, and then people have to try to put two on the ball whenever we get him in ball screens, and that opens things up for Aiden. And then Aiden starts to go to work inside, and we've gone back to a more traditional kind of three out, two in offense. That's not necessarily what everybody's doing these days. Everybody's more five out, but I think it's worked for both guys.
Awesome, thank you. And now flipping to the defensive end, you guys have been incredible on that, finishing among the top defensive teams throughout the nation. So again, guys like Donovan Draper really contributing throughout the entire season. Can you speak a little to how his individual contributions have translated to the team's success?
Yeah, Donovan just has a knack. He has great vision. He understands offensive movement. He communicates really well. If you come to one of our games when he's playing, his communication during live play is elite, some of the best I've ever been around. And he's a really aggressive defender. I think he makes a lot of reads, and his teammates trust him. We as a staff trust him to do what he does on the defensive end. And so, sometimes he's guarding in a game 1 through 5, all positions at times because he has the ability and the knack to do that. He just has an instinct.
Perfect, thank you. That's all I got.
Let's go to Mo Casera.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, got to cover you guys throughout the whole season. Quick question about Genu Kim and Cam Cole. Obviously, we talk so much about Austin and Aiden and stuff, but just maybe a quick thought on how good those guys are and how terrific they've been throughout the season.
Yeah, thanks for the question. And to your point, they have been a key part of our sustained success this year. Both juniors, both model midshipmen. They do everything you want them to do off the court. You got to kick them out of the gym sometimes because they work so hard, and staying after practice. Genu first, just really hard worker, gritty, really strong, powerful kid on the offensive end. I think one of the best things he's done for us this year, Mo, is really his pace with the ball in his hands has improved exponentially. He's starting to read the second and third rotations on defense makes. Playing off of 2 feet has been really big for his development. And then his consistency shooting the basketball has been really, really good for us. He's made some big, timely threes for us
Oh, he has. Yep.
in games this year. Um, and defensively, he's a guy that, he can guard a lot of different guys too. He just has a knack for staying in front of the ball. And one of the things I'm most proud of him about is his defensive rebounding. He's really committed to that and understands how important that is. Cam Cole, his growth this year, he's probably take the biggest jump, in my opinion, of anybody on our roster. And he is super fast. I call him the road runner. Um, and he probably doesn't know who the Roadrunner is because
That's right.
he's too young for that cartoon. But that was one of my favorites. But I tell you what, I mean, you talk about a guy that can cover some ground offensively or defensively. And sometimes as a coach, I'm like, man, where are you going? And I'm like, yes, absolutely, outstanding play. But he had 16 big points for us the other night against Colgate. He's really starting to settle in. His teammates are finding him in transition for open threes. I think he's had three or four and one 3-point plays or three-pointers. So he's made 4-point plays this year for us in transition. And his ability to spell Austin off at the point guard position has been really big for us too. He's got a knack. He can play on the ball. He can play off the ball. He's really good in the middle third of the floor offensively and setting his teammates up. Defensively, he, like Draper, has a knack. He just kind of sees the rotations. He understands the movement of the offense. He is really, really good and locked in scouting reports. And when our staff, is going through what we're going to see, what we're going to try to take away, he's all bought into that. And he, like Draper, he's got a great voice on the floor. He's communicating with guys, and just can't say enough good things about him. He's been a guy this year that we've said, hey, go pick up the ball 94 feet, turn him a couple times, and just try to disrupt the offensive flow.
Last one for me, Coach. Obviously, last year at this time, you were one seed over, so to speak, and got yourself all the way to the finals, and then lost to American. Different thoughts for you now, different. I don't want to say different approach, but obviously, a lot of the same guys, but a different team. So any different, kind of way you're going to approach this next week?
Yeah, great question. We were meeting this morning for about an hour and a half, 2 hours as a staff. You have it's unique to have 3 days before you play a game. You kind
Right.
of get this rhythm of two practices and then you play, two practices and you play and you get an off day. And I think we have a really good plan on how we're going to attack. Potentially playing Army and or Bucknell. But today is about us, and it's just getting better with our transition defense, our defensive rebounding, our offensive execution, our screening needs to get better. Our ball screen coverages need to get better. So we're going to work on that for a while. Obviously, shooting the basketball, we've got to continue to do that. That's a thing that we're gonna get a lot of shots up today with the guys, and free throw shooting. Free throws have been big for us. We led the league in getting there, and we're shooting a pretty good free throw percentage. And so, seeing that ball go in is going to be really key. As far as how we approach it, I mean, we're going to keep climbing. I know I've talked to you about that. This is the point we've been waiting for since last spring, and so now it's the fun time, right? It's March. I mean, this is the
Sure.
best time of the year, right? And we've got over 136 practices together, and that's not including some workouts. So we're to this point, and it's just trying to earn extra days, and that's what we keep trying to think about is
I like that.
how many days can we continue to earn? Because nothing. I mean, it's at this point in our climb, we're in the death zone as we call it, and if we lose, right, you go home. So you got to work hard, you got to do your job, you got to continue to put your team first, and we just all have to try to keep growing and getting better each day.
Great. Good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Scott Wyckoff, WBAL Radio.
Hey, Coach, home court so important in the Patriot League. I've talked to another players, and they've each and every one of them has talked about that. How important was it for them, and what does it mean what they have done to get home court for what they've been waiting for to do for the last year?
Yeah, great to see you, Scott. Thanks for being here. And thanks for the question. It's the most important thing. I mean, we had a number of goals that this team sat down in the spring and came up with. And that was the most important one was winning the Patriot League regular season championship. I went back through the years and the team, right? I think it was 82% of the time, if you were the one seed, that person, that team, whoever that was getting to the NCAA tournament. So, I went back and tried to look at those numbers and share that with those guys. And it's something that hadn't been done here in 29 years. And so we were trying to do that and hang a banner. This team really wanted to do that. And that was our first goal. And we've we've accomplished that, which sets us up to be the 1 seed. And we've grown a liking to Alumni Hall this year. We've had great support from the town of Annapolis and the fans, the local fans, and the students on campus. And these guys feel comfortable here. It allows us to stay into our routines. I think, we all like to kind of be into our routines, sleep in our own beds, and do those type of things. So I'm excited for this group. I'm really proud of them for accomplishing that. It's hard winning, going through 18 games, staying healthy, going through all the travel, right? Fighting off the sicknesses and the injuries and all that type of stuff. So it's a grind, and I think that's something you can really hang your hat on is when you win a regular season championship.
And also talking to your seniors, you get a real sense of that they want to leave behind a legacy of what their class has been able to do for Navy basketball. And I know Aiden today talking to me about continuity and how important that's been in each of their development, how he's developed, how his teammates have developed, and the continuity of having you for all 4 years. Have you seen that in this group?
Yeah, I think it helps us in a lot of ways. I mean, how long do you have to talk about that? We read the book Legacy over the summer, and I don't know if you've read it or not, but it's about the All Blacks rugby team, and it just talks about everything that they do, and their whole thing is leaving the jersey in a better place than you found it. And we kind of adopted that. And I can remember getting those seniors in this office right after we kind of went through the book review as a team, and we were sitting around talking about the goals and stuff. And I just left them with the question is, what do you guys want your senior class legacy to be? And there's a lot to that. You can't answer that right away. And those guys chewed on that question for a long, long time, and they came up with that list of goals. And ultimately, they wanted to leave the jersey in a better place. And I think they've done that. They've poured their heart and souls into this. The physical, the physicality of the season, the spirituality that it takes, the mental focus that it takes for as long as we've been doing this. They've poured every ounce that they have into it, and I think they've done a great job with that.
When you look at a player like Aiden, he's come along, developed each year, developed as such a strong rebounder last year, and then now has added with the points in the shooting percentage and getting to the line. Is that kind of the mark of the Navy development program? A player like an Aiden Kehoe who comes through and reaches this point as a senior?
Yeah, really good point. And I think that's what happens whenever you recruit a young guy and you establish a relationship with his family and himself, and you bring him in for 4 or 5 years, whether they come in directly or they're part of our prep school. We have a plan. We develop a plan together. Their dreams become our dreams, and our job is to push them every day and help them plan and help them kind of see the vision of where they're going. Watch a lot of film with them, and he's done an unbelievable job with that. And I think when you get to spend time with these young guys off the court for the multiple years that we get to do as a staff, you just build a trust and a relationship that's really important to that development process. And I think there's a level of care in our program that plays into that as well.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bill Wagner, Annapolis Capital.
John, anticipating that Austin will be named postseason player of the year like he should be, can you talk about the challenge of being named preseason player of the year and having to live up to that billing? You've got a target on your back. Every team is game planning against you. And it is quite common over the years for the preseason player of the year not to be the postseason player of the year. If indeed Austin gets this honor, what can you say about him, living up to the billing that he got preseason?
Yeah, we're hopeful it works out for him, and he's a hardworking guy. He's 100% bought into what we're doing here. He's a big part of our success. Yeah, it's a challenge, but I think it all comes back to his attitude. I think he shows up every day. He has the right attitude. He works extremely hard. He's about others. He's always pushing his teammates. He's really invested in the relationships that he has with the other guys, and he loves to see those guys have success. And he understands that he has a big part in that. Being a point guard. I just think he has great consistency. His discipline is really elite with his work ethic and his workouts that he gets in outside of practice. And then, when the lights come on, his execution is really, really good too, night in and night out. He has a knack of, and I think it's one of the things I think he's grown most in is just letting the game come to him, especially this year, because to your point, people are game planning for him. So setting the table for other players on our team and allowing Aiden to have his success and Drape and Cam Cole and Jordan and Genu and those guys, Mike, start to score a little bit. It takes the attention off of him, and he understands how valuable that is to be able to facilitate all that. Um,
This will be the third time in the last 5 seasons that Navy is. Well, you're hoping it'll be the third time in the last 5 seasons that you go all the way to the final. You did it twice before here recently. What did you learn about the grind and what it takes to reach the finals of the Patriot League tournament?
it takes everybody. It takes it takes leadership at all levels. I think everybody in our locker room, everybody on the staff has led at different times this year during this season. And I think that's really important and that speaks to the type of team we have. Everybody understands what we're trying to do, and everybody knows that it's not easy, and it's going to take everybody's commitment and their sacrifice, their acceptance of their role. We've had roles change this year. And that's something that we've learned in the past is maybe who starts or who's playing a lot at the beginning of the year doesn't necessarily finish that way, or vice versa. And there's been multiple times this year we've had to have some guys step up, and we've learned in the past that that's really important in developing the bench and keeping everybody bought in, to the greater purpose of trying to get back to that championship game and cut down those nets. I think has been really key too. Ultimately, I think the guys have learned that you got to have fun while you're doing it. There's got to be some joy to it, some happiness. You can't. People use the word grind. We don't. We don't talk about that a lot around here. We understand that it takes a lot of hard work, but we're going to enjoy ourselves while we're doing that.
Last for me, you've playing 7 guys for the most part. The 5 of them are going to graduate. Um, can you talk about what the young guys that are at the end on the bench that aren't playing a lot are they learning from? Are they do they you feel like there will be positives gained for the younger guys, even though they may not be playing a lot, that they're seeing what a winning basketball product is all about?
100%. 100%. Everybody in the program's getting better every day because they understand that that's their most important thing that they can do is commitment to the program is to bring their best every day and give their best for their teammates. They're seeing this senior class lead and uphold the standards on a daily basis and lead by example. But everybody's improving within the program, so I'm excited for the future. Not just the next couple weeks here, if we can keep this thing going, but as we continue to to try to win games here and establish this program as a contender year in and year out in the Patriot League. We've got a lot of talented guys, and every day these guys are competing against each other, and I think that's made our rotation, the 7 that are playing the most. I think that's made them really good is because these guys, these younger guys, are pushing them every day in practice.
It's just 4 out of 7 wags. Kim, Pinnock, and Cole are all back next year. Tim Nolan.
Hey, John, Tim Nolan from right down the hall from you. 22 years since the last time you went dancing personally. How do you keep the moment from consuming you?
One day at a time. But I still think about that. I mean, I think about that moment a lot, and I want those guys to feel that moment. there's nothing like the NCAA tournament. As a kid, it's something you dream of. You watch March Madness, you listen, it's there's a lot of emotions in it. You work so hard and you want to be a part of that. So we talk about it a lot in the program, and we've talked about it ever since the spring. And every once in a while I'll bring out the old bracket from last year that has American winning the championship, just to remind us all that this is what we're trying to do and we're trying to get there. And then we want that to say Navy this year, not American. And so I think it's something that's a great thing, and I really hope that this team, we can continue to get better the next 3 days and play our best basketball when it matters most here in March.
Uh, your team finishes regular season play in the Patriot League, the best defense by a mile. How well has this team taken to Scott Wager's coaching style, and just what has his flair brought to this program?
Yeah, I think they've taken to him. I think the whole staff. I'm really proud of the staff. I think I've got a great staff, and those guys have aligned themselves with the mission of the Naval Academy and aligned themselves with the mission of this program and serving these young guys on a daily basis. And I think that's really, really important. The relationships, having three new pieces to come in, Jordan and Brett were kind of the glue that helped those other three, and the guys have taken to him. As far as Wage goes, I mean, I played for him in college. I knew he got us to play hard. That's the thing he did the best was getting us to play hard, and I think that he's brought that to the program. Defensively, we were pretty good last year. There were some things that we needed to shore up, and he had some ideas for that, and I think all of that has done really, really well. And getting the guys to buy in to playing defense and rebounding is not easy. But when you have an older group, they start to think about winning. And when you want to win, you'll do whatever it takes to win. And if you can defend and rebound and take care of the basketball, those three things will always give you a chance to win a game because you'll have more possessions than your opponents.
John, you guys won every game at home in the regular season since the opener against Yale. What was the enduring lesson from that home opening loss that has made you guys the number one team in the Patriot League you are right now?
Well, we learned a lot. Our ball screen coverage was no good that game. And so we weren't prepared. So that was a big piece. We had to go back to the drawing boards because they were killing us on ball screens and popping and banging threes. I think the biggest lesson from that game is that we still had a lot of work to do. We didn't think we weren't quite as good as we thought we were at that point. And the guys and the staff, we kind of just put our heads down and said, hey, we got to get back to the drawing board a little bit. The guys did say, hey, we're not losing another home game. That's just not what we're doing. And we had a commitment to winning all of our Patriot League home games. So I'm really proud for them to go through a conference season and not lose a home game.
Thank you.
Patrick Stevens.
Hey, John, how you doing this
Good,
afternoon?
good to see you, bud.
Good to see you. Not too many subjects haven't been trod on so far, so I'll try to come up with a few new things here. Jordan Pennick did not end last year the way he probably would have wanted to, and the start of this year obviously went a little harder for him than he probably would have liked. How has he kind of fought through everything this year, and what do you think about what he's been able to do on the back half of the season?
Yeah, great question. Jordan's a big part of who we are and what we do, and I think he's had a great attitude. I think he's just growing as a young man. He's really bought into what the mission of the school is. He's doing really well off the court, and he's doing well on the court. He's leading at times for us. And I'm really excited for him with what's in store for him in the future.
You mentioned the defensive changes in the offseason and whatnot. How important was tightening up an already decent 3-point percentage defense? And how much has that ultimately led to you getting where you are right now?
Important because, over the last 5 or 6 years, the Patriot League has been top one, two, three in the country in assisted threes and 3-point volume. So it's something we felt like we needed to address. Now, you'll say, well, man, a lot of teams are making 10, 11, 12 threes on us, but they're not getting easy twos either. So we've made some adjustments to our just 2 point field goal percentage defense, which that's gone drastically down if you look at that over the years. And so the last couple of years. And so we're not giving up easy twos. We're going to make you make a lot of threes, and hopefully those are contested threes. I think just with an experienced team, and it was brought up earlier, just the continuity, the consistency of these guys being together for multiple years. When you have an older team, um, they start to learn to play with each other and how to rotate. And there's some things that we're doing that they do in a game that takes a lot of work and a lot of time defensively to be able to guard the ball the way we are. And that's a credit to our staff and Coach Wagers, but it's most importantly a credit to the guys, them being able to absorb it and then go out and make it come to life. You know, as a staff, you can build a plan, you can build a scouting report, you can watch all the film, but ultimately you have to present it to the guys in a way that they understand it with some clarity, and then they have to go make it come to life for 40 minutes.
And to build off of something Wags was asking about the bench, I know for many years it felt like Navy was a team that typically went really, really deep on a regular basis. The last couple of years, that's been tightened. I'm curious what this isn't just a you thing. Last year it happened too. If there was a philosophical shift, or if it was simply let's just ride these seven or eight guys as far as they can go.
Good question. I think these guys have earned it, and we've got a little rhythm going on with this seven. And there's an eighth or ninth guy that's ready, and they've come in at different times and spelled us. But we've got a good rotation, and knock on wood, it's been working, and everyone's been able to do what we're asking them to do.
Thank you.
Jason, Nat.
Hey, Coach, how are you? Congratulations on a
Welcome back from the Olympics, my man.
Hey, thanks. Hey, 17-1. It's only happened one other time, and I was just looking at numbers. I think 15 of your 18 or 15 of your 17 league wins are by 15 or more. So you're finishing games strong in putting people away. Is that something that you has kind of evolved for this group through the year that you kind of have seen to be able to finish off teams and leave no doubt?
Yeah, great point. I think as the year has gone, they just continue to gain more and more confidence, and they're able to gain that confidence not just on game day. It's the work that they put in practice. I mean, we talk about consistency a lot in our program because I just think in life is about being consistent. It's about showing up every day, doing your job, and being prepared and ready. And these guys show up every day to practice, and they are locked in. They're focused. They act like pros. We talk about the difference between pros and amateurs a lot, and they are pros. Now it's taken us a couple years to get there to be pros, but we've taken our lumps. We've learned from that. We've stuck together, and I think that's given us the opportunity to be where we're at right now.
Awesome. I'm good. That's all I need with all these other wonderful questions.
Matt Sabatos.
I've got nothing. I was just tuning in to listen.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
We've got about 6 minutes left. I'm going to ask one just because we've talked about 6 of the 7 guys. So I'm going to ask you, John, about Mike Woods, who I think has been, one of the best captains we've had in my 35 years in Navy. Just a quiet leader, but leads with confidence. And he's also really improved on the basketball court, too. I mean, he's been a good player for you guys this year, both on the offensive and defensive ends. Could you talk a little bit about Mike Woods?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Thanks for bringing him up. Yeah, he's our captain. He's the right guy for the job. This is the first place I've ever been where the team picks the captain, and I think it's awesome the way it's done here. I mean, it's the right way to do it, right? When your peers select you, because captains act like captains before they're captains. And to Scott's point, from the time he was in our NAPS program until now, he's just a first class guy. He treats people the right way. It's amazing when you practice the golden rule how good things happen to good people. And he's always caring about the guys off the court just as much as on the court. Spends a lot of time with our younger guys. He is our standard on a daily basis because all the eyes are on him. And especially the eyes are on him whenever, some adversity's hitting in a game or whatever. And he has an unbelievable way about him. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected, as we call in the program. He stays blue. And I just think he's done a really, really good job because his attitude is exceptional. He's always thinking about other people. He's a relationship first guy. Now he has a competitive spirit to him. He has an edge, and I think if you were at the game on Saturday at Colgate, you saw that fire. I call him Flex because he's always like flexing, right? And when he gets going, the more he flexes, the more that energy just feeds into the rest of his team, and they love it. And so I'm really happy for him and happy for our program that he was the guy leading us this year.
Thank you. Got about 4 minutes left. Anyone else have another question? Wags, you always have one more question.
I just hope Wags is feeling better. He's been down and out.
He sounds like me.
I took your advice and actually went to see a doctor and got antibiotics.
There you go. You're coachable, Wags. You're coachable.
Thank you. I have one last question. I mean, we haven't talked about you very much. You're a first-year head coach. You got to navigate this. Now, I know you've been around a long time and had Coach T to mentor you, but I was asking about Austin Benini being player of the year. But if you're not coach of the year, it's a crime. Can you talk about what this has been like for you? I mean, I don't know too many coaches that had a first season like this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's mission first, people always. I think it's an unbelievable place to work, and my role is it's a blessing to be in the role. My role is to serve the staff and serve the players as best I can. And I've had a wonderful time doing it. I don't this team has been really special. I tell them every day when I walk in, I said, you guys have got something that I'm not sure you understand, but there is an energy, there is a joy within this team, and it's really been fun to be around, and I've just been honored to be able to be in the seat.
Anyone have anything else? We got about 2:30 left.
Yeah, I just got one more closing question for
Go
you,
ahead.
John. So yeah, you guys all mentioned the conference tournament. So I want to ask mental preparation looking ahead. Are you guys looking to set anything into motion?
In what regard, sir?
Sorry, yeah, going into the conference tournament, what sort of mental preparations are you guys doing out of the locker room, maybe during workouts, team bonding activities?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're just going to continue to do what we've been doing. And that's just putting the team first and our teammates first. We haven't been doing any out of the like team bonding things. We've been focused on basketball. Today, for instance, we're going to watch film from Colgate. We're kind of in a routine, and we're going to stay in that routine. And we're going to watch film from Colgate. We're going to learn the things that we need to do better offensively and defensively, and then we're going to see the things that we did really well offensively and defensively. And then today during practice, the guys probably get sick of it, but they know what's coming the first 4 or 5 drills, just like the staff. But it's a routine and it's a consistency thing. And we're going to go through this through today, excuse me, and just kind of get better in what areas we feel like we need to get better in.
Awesome, thank you. My apologies for the confusion from
Oh,
before.
that's okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Great session. If Navy is fortunate enough to win the quarters and the semis, we'll do this again next Monday to talk about those 2 games and preview the championship game on Monday again at the same time. So thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate you joining.